Hi everyone, I'm Lou, and I'm just going to go into a little short video of how to make really simple backgrounds using just really sort of simple colours, simple stencil and a piece of card. And I think once you got this idea, then it sort of kickstarts your mojo, and it also helps you to sort of get something down on paper so that you can get going. So choose your favourite colours, don't go mad with colour. I'm just going to stick to a couple, and I'm going to pick the colours that really scare people. I've got a fluorescent, I can't say the word, fluorescent pink, but you'd be amazed what happens when you mix this with teal. And teal's a really good colour because it's a base colour that you can mix with lots of others. So either one you can use with others. So just put a little bit of colour down and keep your colours away from each other because I end up putting them all over. So, and I've just got a piece of cut and dry, which is foam. You can use kitchen foam, whatever you want. A little bit of water on the mat, a little bit on the sponge, not to wet the sponge, but to dampen it. And the reason is you get a better spread of paint, because when you put paint on a dry sponge, it just sucks it right up. So you sort of drag it, and then when you drag, you'll get horrible marks on you. So having it moist like that will help. And all you do then is just take a tiny bit and you're sort of pushing it into the sponge itself. So I'm just going to choose, let's say, the little blocks, and I'm just going to choose one area. So I'm not going to the edges because I don't want to create lines as if I can. Move it over. Now what you can do with this is keep moving it over and join up. So you don't have to think, oh, I can only do squares or lines with this. You can't do anything else. You can line them up. That's what I love about these. It's so versatile. I've got one area. Now, when you're working with anything like this, my advice is always work in threes. And the reason for that is because it's all to do with maths and Fibonacci and stuff like that. But it is interesting. And it's the golden section, golden rule. And it's how our brain works. So threes always work better. So I've just got a little bit there. I'm going to pull that over. I don't want it to join as such. I just want it to move over. So I'll just pull that off and show you. So I've got my three areas. Okay. Now what I can do is choose another design. I quite like the circle and see what that looks like. Yeah, I'll put the circle on. And all I'm going to do is just a tiny bit next to it, sort of extending it, but extending the shape and colour. So, and you see how little paint I'm using. You don't need a lot. And this is where people sometimes go wrong. Too much on, and then it's overpowering. You can always put it on, it's taking it off that's a bit of a nuisance. So, just extending it there. 1, 2, 3. I need another one to even it out. So what I'll do is I'll just put one in the middle. And because there's not much difference between that, it doesn't overpower the eye. So what we do now, you can't use the same. Now, believe it or not, these are clean. They are, honestly. Well, you can wash this stuff. So if you think, oh, that looks, you're going to get that dull colours. These are really handy to clean, or kitchen sponges actually. So I'm going to go back to my my square, and I've got the fluorescent yellow. Do you know I can't speak today? Pink. And I'm just going away from where I was before and slightly over. So just there. And then I'm going to go a little bit here. Just be careful. Now I'm getting the colour off the mat, which I really love. So don't be worried if that does happen. So I've got my 3 again. Now if that does happen, the easiest way of doing it, I'm going to get a little bit more paint out, is to flip it over and use the cleaner side, and then that way it won't sort of, you can clean your stencil till you're blue in the face, but sometimes a little bit of residue will happen. So I'm just, that's better. And then I'm just going to pop on again with a circle. Again, I'm slightly, the sort of rule of thumb is, but it's only a guideline, it's not a rule really, it's just over and next to where you were before, so that you're overlaying these colours and you're sort of trying to get them to mingle. Right, so we've got these two. I'm happy with them. Now what I'm going to do is just show you what happens when I mix the two together. I get a wonderful purple. And because this purple is made from those two colours, it will work together. Because it just does. So I am just going to put this over here. And I'm just very gently, because there's quite a lot of water on this, going to put the purple on as well. And it's surprising, you wouldn't think that that purple would be made from those two colours. So I'm going to go back, and you can deepen the purple if you want by adding more teal. So bear in mind when you're choosing colours, always, if you feel a bit anxious about colours, always go and have a little play with them first and think, right, what happens when I mix them? And just see what happens. So I'm just putting that round the edge now, just to give it some sort of depth. And I'm going to put what we call a veil over it now when I finish the edges. And the veil is to darken, well, it's not to darken, but it's just to bring it all together. I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to put a little bit in the middle just to give it a bit more. That's it. Right, so basically it looks really, really colourful and bright, but anything can go on this. And the next step is just to darken the edge. And I'm using the purple that I've made, mixing the two colours. Now this can be a fantastic background for something else. You can actually apply white over the top of this in another stencil, so this actually then gets really what we call knocked back. But they're a really simple background using just one stencil, two colours that work well together, and a fantastic background. So if I just show you now, if we put this, it's not the right shape, but if I was to just put this card on and just show you that it creates a wonderful colour background, and you can have any of these colours as your prominent colour here. You can even add this colour over the top, maybe a bit more, so even that will match, a bit neater than that. There we go, that's a bit better. Pull it off and show you what I mean. Can you see? So that will match with those as well. So there's a really simple technique on how to create a really easy background using just one or two products. So, yep, I can't wait to see what you all do with these then. Thank you.